Good morning, dear students. How are you? I hope you all are safe at home. Students, today I will teach you second half of the lesson. The name of the lesson is State Government. Today I will teach you about the State Executive. Okay, students. So, what is State Executive body? The executive body of the state is responsible for formation of policies. The state executive body consists of governors, chief ministers, and his ministers and other officers who implement the policies made by the government. Now about governor in detail. Right, students? The head of the state, who is the head of the state government? Is the governor. The governor is the nominal head of the state, and the actual power to take decisions lies in the hands of the chief minister. But the governor exercises his or her powers in a number of important areas. Like the functions are carried out on the advice of the chief minister and council of ministers. Right. Now the qualification for appointment. Right. The governor of state is appointed by the President of India for a term of 5 years. The union government advises the President while appointing the state governor. Right? He or she holds the office at the pleasure of the President and can be removed before the term of completion. And what should be the eligibility for governor? To become a state governor, a person should be a citizen of India. First and important eligibility. Okay, he or she should not less than 35 years of age. He or she should neither be a member of parliament or member of state legislative, nor should hold any office or profit. Right? He or she should not be the resident of the state to which he or she will be appointed as a governor. Means if anybody is appointed governor in Haryana, so he should not be the resident of Haryana. Okay. Now about powers and functions. First of all, executive powers. Right. All executive powers of the state government are vested in the governor. They are: governor appoints the chief minister of the state after he or she won majority votes. Right? And governor is responsible for electing the council of ministers of the advice of the chief minister. He or she has the power to appoint the members of State Public Service Commission and the Advocate General. Now about his legislative powers. The governor commences the first session of the state assembly, right, after fresh elections. The bills passed by the legislative must be the bills passed by the legislative must have the assent of the governor. In case a law has to be passed urgently, the governor can issue an ordinance of the assembly is not in session. Right? His or her assent is very important in introducing the annual budget in the assembly. Right? Now about the discretionary powers of the governor. Right? The governor uses his or her discretion in situations of emergency. Right? At times of president's rule, the governor has the full right to take decision without any advice from the chief minister and the council. Right? He is also consulted in the appointment of the judges of the state high court. He or she can reduce the punishment term or pardon a death sentence in matters affecting state laws. And the governor can also report to the president that the state government is not functioning according to the constitution. And on the basis of this report, the president can proclaim emergency in the state. What is president rule? What is president rule? It is an emergency situation. Right? When the constitutional machinery fails and the governor gets the powers to take important decisions of the state. Now about union territories. What are union territories? How many union territories are in India? In India there are 28 states and 9 union territories. And a union territory is a type of administrative division in the Republic of India. Unlike the states of India which have their own government, union territory are federal territories governed directly by the central government of India. Now about the Council of Ministers. The state functions are carried out through different departments which are headed by ministers. These ministers are members of legislature. They are allotted important portfolio by the chief minister. They are mainly responsible for running the departments based on the policies. Right? Laid down by the government, they are accountable to the chief minister and can be removed by the governor. Right? The ministers along with chief minister, some serve for 5 years. Now powers of the chief ministers. What are the powers of the chief ministers? The powers and function of the chief ministers are: the chief minister is the head of the council of ministers. Right? He is the head of the council of the ministers. Right? He or she her or his advice is very much important while appointing other ministers of the state. Each minister is answerable to the chief minister. Right? She or he act as a link between the governor and council of ministers. He or she has to administer different state departments and determine policies. Right? He is responsible for coordinating different ministers, and he keeps a check on ministers and has the powers to remove or re-elect. Right? A minister. Now about the bills. In this I will tell you how bills becomes law. Right? The legislature of a state is entrusted with a number of functions. Right? The most important function is to make laws related to the state list. The legislature passes two kinds of bills: ordinary bill and money bill. What is ordinary bill? An ordinary bill concerns the administration issues of the state. Right? It can be tabled in any of the two houses. Two houses are there. Right? Any house, it can be tabled. The bill is discussed, debated and voted. If the legislative assembly passes the bill with a majority, then the bill then sent to the legislative council. Right? The legislative council discusses, debates and suggests amendments. Right? In the bill, it cannot keep the bill pending beyond 6 months. Right? In case it is refuses, right, to pass the bill, it become a deadlock. Right? It become a deadlock. In this case, the governor is then called for a joint session by the legislative assembly to give his or her assent. Right? The bill is then voted for and become a law. Now about money bill. Right? A money bill is a bill concerning financially matters of the state. It can be introduced in the state legislative assembly only. Right? And once it is voted for, it is in the legislative assembly, it is sent to the legislative council. Right? The council can only recommend changes. It cannot put the bill pending for more than 14 days. The bill is passed in the form in which it was passed by the legislative assembly. And most important, I will tell you some points how they read in assembly the bill. Right, student? The bill is then passed in the form in which it was passed by the legislative assembly, and most important is a bill introduced in the house goes through various readings. Right? The first reading is the introduction of the bill, means for what about the bill is, how much money is there they want to pass. The second reading initiates discussion, whether it should be passed or not passed, what are the points, discussion is there, right, on the bill. And the third reading is initiated only after the first two readings. Right? So dear students, this chapter is over. In this week's assignment, solutions are there of this lesson, and chapter 3 of history solutions were left. Right? So along with this, Those solutions are also there. Right? Stay home, stay safe. Bye.